How we doing, everybody?
Hola.
Welcome to another episode. I'm getting jiggy with it. I'm Will.
I'm Adri.
That was just a weird hola. It was just kind of weird out of nowhere. And what are we doing today?
We are doing our top 10. I was going to say videos.
Top 10 videos.
Top 10 games
You did the same
that
thing
we
last
played
year.
this year.
You did the same thing last year. You're like, our top 10 videos. I'm like, okay, they can go watch our top 10 videos. So yeah, we are going to go over our top 10 new to us games for 2022. These games may or may not have come out in 2022. We say top 10, but basically it's my top 5, Adri's top 5, but we're going to give you 5 honorable mentions as well. So we'll do my honorable mentions. You can do yours. So my honorable mentions at number 10 is My Father's Work. Number 9 is Tiny Epic Dungeons. 8 is Townsfolk Tussle. 7 is Harry Potter's Hogwarts Battle. And number 6 was Dinosaur World. All right. And Adri, what were your honorable mentions?
Honorable mentions are number 10, Wild Serengeti. Number 9, Scooby-Doo, the board game. Number 8, Skulls of Seldic. Number 7, Uno Ultimate.
Uno Ultimate, Marvel. I don't know if they're going to make another Ultimate Edition. We'll get it.
Marvel. And number 6, Disney Sorcerer's Arena.
Disney Sorcerer Arena. So that is our honorable mentions, basically 6 through 10. All right, so we will start with me. My number 5 is Destinies. So Destinies is a app-based game where you are playing with other players to see who can find their destiny first. You're going to go on adventures, you're going to go through tiles, you're going to have to complete little objectives and missions to try to figure out what is your destiny. It is app-based. Most of the game is in the app, so if that's something that's not for you. For me, I like app games. I like that board gamed video game feel because I used to be a video gamer primarily, so having that helps. But in the app, you're going to scan cards, you're going to ask people questions, and you're going to pick up like a key, and then you're going to give it to the person, say, hey, what do you know about this key? And they might tell you, hey, there's a door you can unlock 5 tiles away. And you'll need to go over and try to unlock that door to figure out the rest of what you're trying to accomplish. Combat is based on a skill tree that you'll level up and level down. And then what you'll do is you will have to try to roll numbers within what your talents allow you to do. So if I have a talent at 3, 5, and 12, and I roll a 6, I'm going to be able to only activate my 3. But if I rolled an 8, I could activate 7 or I don't say activate, you get those as a success, right? I'd be able to get 2 successes. So just keep doing that. It's a little fighting, a little battling, leveling up, finding equipment. We played the first scenario with the werewolves on the channel. You can go watch that. But yeah, that is my number 5, Destinies.
My number 5 is Canvas. This is a game in which it's a set collection game that involves art, and you create your design based on the objectives that you have, and you put layers of cards.
Because they have these transparent see-through
cards
that are really nice looking.
Yeah, so you can actually make, like, I think every single time it will be a different
artwork.
And we play with the expansion.
Yeah, we played the expansion as well.
Which is amazing because you flip the card and it has, I don't know how to explain, but the same
picture
has a completely different image.
So like there would be a cat in space on one side, and then you flip it over, it's a dog in deep sea. So he's got like an aquarium hat on.
Like that with me. So it is really fun. I think I love it because it is about art.
So we like art and
I also like that it has names. I mean, when you place them,
when you make the picture,
when you overlap them, you can have like different names for the picture. So if one card has one word, the other one has another word, and then you combine them and you will see like 2-word name for the picture, and that is really, really cool. It is very pretty. I like colors. You have to match also color. It's like it has these icons of photography.
Oh, it's I forget what they are, but it's like your gamma and your brightness adjustment and stuff.
So that is what you have to
accomplish for your challenge.
Yeah, that's like your objective. So I find that really nice and a very creative game. That was my number
That was
5.
number 5. All right, so my number 4 is Legendary Marble. We just started playing Legendary Marble. I had gotten Marble Champions, and you can watch our top 25 videos that will be coming out. Subscribe so you know when they come out. And Marble Champions was very high for me, but unfortunately for Adri, not so high. And it's because there is a complexity to that that's a little bit harder to get to. Marvel Legendary, or Legendary Marvel, it has a little bit less of that because it's a deck building game. So we like deck building games. I decided we would get it because it's a deck building game. I think Adri does like it more than Champions a little bit.
Yeah, way more.
And so you are basically, they say thematic, if you want thematic, you're basically shield agents and you're trying to recruit the different heroes that build up the hero deck. All the same time, every turn, more bad guys, henchmen, all them are coming into the city to try to thwart you from doing that. They may have activation effects that occur when they come out. They may immediately attack. They may make you KO a card out of your hand and so forth. But the main goal is you're trying to beat the mastermind and his scheme. And you can mix and match masterminds and schemes from tons of sets, tons of packs, and to make a more thematic or just some random matchup, right? And the idea is beat them 3 times. They got three times to win the game. Some people even play until they have to beat the actual mastermind 1 time as well. And it's so interesting. We play it fully co-op. It is supposed to be semi-co-op because at the very end, you're supposed to count up points, whoever had the most kills throughout the game. But we play fully co-op. Can we beat the mastermind or can't we? Really like it. I'm not going to tell you if I like it more or less than Champions myself. We know that Adri, of course, does care for it a little bit more than Marvel Champions.
Oh, yeah, a lot more.
So a lot more. Sorry, a lot more. So if you were somebody who played Marvel Champions and was like, that's a little bit much to do, maybe check out Legendary Marvel, especially if you do like deck building games like Clank or any deck building game, Harry Potter, so forth, which was number 7. But yes, that is my number 4 Legendary Marvel.
My number 4 is Quirky Circuits.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a game that is very unique as well because I would say like you basically play kind of blind because it is a co-op game. So it is about a robot that they are very cute and you have like a maze and you need to have them collect reach some obstacles or objectives. But then you play, this is done through cards that you draw and the other player does the same too. So you take turns and you have to play one card to make your robot go that way or that how many tiles, and then you have to kind of guess what your other player is going to do.
Yeah, because you're playing all your cards face down.
Yeah,
so
you play them
nobody knows
face down.
What the cards
are
showing.
So when we finish the turns, we flip them and we make the robot go and do whatever we got. So we did this, and at the beginning we were really good, and at the end we were really bad. Yeah. So it was really fun.
It was really fun. I think that's one of our first action programming games, which is what that is, where you're trying to set cards in a certain sequence and then you run that sequence to see what happens. It was interesting. It was fun. Would like to see it. I didn't love it like Adri did, but it is a fun and different game. That is Quirky Circuits. My number 3 is Familiar Tales. So again, this is another app-driven game. One of the first games we played was Aftermath, which really got me liking book-based games. I don't know why. I don't know what. That's a book-based game as well. Quirky Circuits. But like book-based games, I feel like maybe you're going through a story more than like laying tiles, or you have a plain board that's the same all the time. So we got Aftermath, and then of course Familiar Tales is basically the same as Aftermath. And I liked Aftermath. I believe it was on my top 10 last year. You can go check that video out. But in Familiar Tales, you have an app. The app is doing the story. So in Aftermath, you had to read the story yourself. But in this, it's going to do all that part for you. You're not having to keep up with that. You're not having to keep up with the danger. Some of the aspects of the gameplay is handled for you. Unfortunately, it means they did not send you a storybook in the box. Some people like that, some people don't. For me, I don't care. But you're taking minis, you're running minis through the storybook, and you're playing this with cards. So you're going to play a card that allows you to move. That card could also allow you to attack. That card could also have a special ability on it because it is a deck building game. You're basically going through, building up your deck, making your characters more powerful, and you have to determine, okay, I'm going to move 2 spaces. So I'm going to use these 2 cards to move. And then that gets me in range of the bad guy. Oh, I only have 1 card left to attack with. So I don't have enough to attack. So Adri can like assist. So there's like an assist action because it is a co-op game. And it's like, okay, well, I'm going to play my 1 card. Adri's going to play her 1 card. That doesn't mean we have enough to beat him yet. So maybe it takes 5 to beat him. We put out 5 in cards. You have to roll a die to hopefully get something good and not a minus. Because say it was 5 and you get a -1, now you're down to 4. You don't have enough. You didn't win the battle. But if you do, you attack, you complete the mission or whatever you're trying to do, and then you go on to the next story element. And this one, it's a little mystical world. You're trying to save a princess. Comes with miniatures. We always like miniatures. We like painting the miniatures. Very cute art. It's an attractive game. Can't wait to play the next scenario because all we did was play the tutorial, which means the game played for us, kind of. But that still shows. I mean, I rank it 3. And we just played the tutorial which walked us through it. I just, seeing the mechanics and seeing what the game is and knowing I like those kinds of things, I know I'm going to enjoy the rest of the game. I don't think there's any way I can't. That is my number 3, Familiar Tales.
My number 3 is Sobek for 2 players.
Yep, so there's 2 Sobecs. There's a regular Sobek, and then this is the 2-player version, which is currently being released by Pandasaurus.
So this is a game which theme is like Egyptian kind of.
That's Egyptian. It's not kind of, it's Egyptian.
Okay, Egyptian. So you have Egyptian characters. It's a tile placement and you have to collect, so it is also a set collection game. And you move your tiles according to what the opponent moves what is it called? The Ankh. So that makes it challenging, because you might not be able to get the cards that you need, and you also have to be looking at what the other person needs to collect or what they have so far, so you can try to avoid them getting those cards. There are also little characters that have like really nice, I think most of them were really nice
the
abilities.
The special abilities, the player abilities. Well, not player abilities, it's the character abilities,
Yeah, the character ability. And they are super cute.
They're super cute. The art is very nice, very cute. It is a very strategic game. When we played it, we compared it to another game called Dragon Pets, which Adri likes. Very similar. You're trying to take tiles, and when you can't do any more tiles, it fills back in, and it's very much strategy. You got to determine, like Adri said, do I want to let her take that extra hay, which she can add and make more points, or do I want to go ahead and take that, even though it's not going to help me, but now at the end of the game that could cost me points,
right?
Because I have it still in my hand at the end of the game.
So Sobek for 2 players is my number 3 favorite game, new to us for this year.
Yep. All right, so that leaves us down to the top 2 games for each of us. So this should be no surprise to anybody. My number 1 and my number 2. If anybody has not guessed this yet, down in the comments, you've not watched our live streams, and you need to start watching more of our live streams. My number 2 is Marvel Zombies. Right now, of course, that's Heroes Resistance, because that's all that's come out. I've got the all-in, everything in the kitchen sink. Oh, I'm sorry, everything in the Galactus sink coming. So we will get to play lots of Marvel Zombies. I've never played a Zombicide game. We do have Undead or Alive. I've heard they play actually different. So I like Marvel Zombies and the way it plays. I don't know if I'll like regular Zombicide game. So in Marvel Zombies, depending which version you play, this one particularly, you're a hero. Of course, you're trying to go through. There's a zombie apocalypse, all of the comics, and you are trying to basically complete some mission. The mission may be that Captain America's been turned into a zombie and he's going to hold out for a while and then all of a sudden come out after you've completed a couple objectives. You do combat through dice rolling and you power up your characters. The problem is, as you power up your characters by gaining experience from killing the zombies, more zombies start to spawn. So it's a perpetual race against the clock, because as you get more powerful, more zombies come, and as you get more zombies, you're going to kill more zombies, which means you're going to get more experience, which means more zombies come, and it just keeps going and going. You can search for power-ups in case there's special abilities. You can there'll be survivors that you'll have to save, and then they're going to give you some kind of special ability. It's just a really fun, what most people call is a beer and pretzels game. There's not a lot of overhead. There's not a lot of rules, a lot of thinkiness. It's just, there's a puzzle, and how do you solve that puzzle? And then, of course, having the Marvel IP is just gravy. Mm-hmm. It's just gravy on my cake. No, gravy on my turkey, because Thanksgiving just happened. Yeah. So I really liked it. I knew I was going to like it because I feel like Zombicide was a type of game I'm doing. And Adri, surprisingly enough, actually likes it. And she's not a fan of zombies.
But a fan of Marvel.
So. But a fan of Marvel. So it kind of offsets it. Now, of course, in the Kickstarter, the full Marvel Zombies, you'll be able to play as zombie heroes who are fighting against S.H.I.E.L.D. and other heroes, a la the comics. Because in the comics, you were actually a zombie. And like a lot of people in the Kickstarter were very upset they couldn't play as heroes. For me, I'm like, no, I want to play as the zombies. And a lot of people who have a lot of Zombicide games are like, I've never got to play as the zombies before. I want to play as the zombies. So I think that's going to be fun too. I doubt that playing that mode is going to drop this anywhere on my rankings. But then again, you don't know where it is in my top 25. Could be at the top, could be at the bottom. You guys, who knows? You have to watch us. You have to subscribe. That button down below. Thumbs up. Subscribe. Bell notification. All that stuff. All right. What is your numero dos?
My numero dos is Project L. And this is a game in which you draw pieces to complete your objective, which is basically or similar to Tetris.
Yeah, like Tetris.
So you get pieces, different shapes, and you have to complete your pattern, which is also something that I really like.
There seems to be a pattern here. You see what I did there? I made on yoke.
I didn't get it.
I said, sounds like there's a pattern here for the type of games you like.
A pattern. Yes.
I don't know if it's funny the second time around. Well, somebody let me know in the comments. Was it funny the second time around?
But maybe it was funny I didn't get it the first time.
No habla inglés.
No hablo inglés muy bien.
You're trying to build the patterns.
You start with basic. I like it that you start with basic
shapes,
and then you can actually complete basic objectives as well, and then it increases, let's say, the difficulty, and it's colorful, is beautiful.
And you start with the basic shapes, and then you upgrade. You have the ability to upgrade those shapes to more complex shapes. So maybe the first shape only fills up 2 spots, but then you can trade in that to get a shape that can fill up 3 spots. Yeah, it was a very fun game. It was different. Nice pieces, like nice deluxe clickety pieces. Always like that. I would say out of polyomino games, that's probably most people's one of their favorite of that style. Because of course there's tons of polyomino games like Isle of Cats, The Mountain King, so forth. This one really feels like you said, kind of like Tetris.
Yes.
Yep. That was nice. Adri's numero dos. All right. So number 1. Yeah, drum roll. My number 1 game, again, should be no surprise to anybody who has watched the channel recently, and that is ISS Vanguard. So ISS Vanguard, again, another app-based, story-based, or story-driven game. In ISS Vanguard, you have 2 main phases that you're trying to do, right? And some people have liked one phase, some people have liked the other. I kind of like both, but I could see Adri only liking one. She's not played the ship phase yet, but I don't think that's for her. I think she's fine with the exploration and the story, which you kind of said during the gameplay that you liked that there was a narrated story. It made you kind of.
I like the way it is narrated. I like the language they use. It sounds like you're. It
sounds like
really
like a movie, but without the pictures.
Yes.
Yeah. So in ISS Vanguard, you are explorers. You're trying to go out and explore this Dyson sphere of a universe. You're going to send your different crew members down to a planet to explore and try to complete objectives, get resources, find discoveries, things like that. The game is dice driven, so you're taking dice. Your section crew have a certain amount of dice that you can roll, and each section has a different type of dice and different type of abilities. Even your crew members that you'll recruit throughout the game through the ship phase can have different abilities. And as you level them up, you get more dice, you get more abilities, but you're going to roll these dice. You have to figure out how many dice do I want to roll, because after you roll the dice, they're spent. You cannot use those dice for a future challenge. The only way you get the dice back is by resting, but that also causes you to use up your supplies, because it's kind of like, oh, we stayed the night on the planet. We used up some of our supplies while we're down here on the planet. So it's very thematic. The app, like I said, does a great job narrating and going through the story arcs. I'm excited to find out what's happening again. It's like, we played for a couple hours and it just didn't feel like it. Like any story-driven game that can keep us like involved is just, it's great, right? The other part is the ship phase. So this is where some other people this is kind of like a management phase. A lot of people are referencing it to like XCOM or similar, where you are going back to your ship, you're taking those discoveries, you're taking those things you found, you're trying to recruit more people, level up your people, build new things, find new gadgets and gears and all kinds of stuff like that to make yourself better, because you're going to go to another planet. And that planet may be more hostile than the last one you were on. For example, the planet we went on, there was no baddies. But I can tell you, I got a whole box of baddies back there that need to be painted. So there's going to be baddies that we're going to have to, at some point, fight or fend off. I don't know. We've not gotten to that part, so I don't know how that works. And I'm excited to get to that. That's the key thing, is like, as soon as I played the tutorial, I was like, I want to play it again. But I have to wait for Adri to play it. And then we got sick and we had to postpone. And I'm like, oh, I want to play it. I want to play it again. I want to play it again. It's fun. I want to play more. But that is it. That is number one, ISS Vanguard. Lots of minis, lots of story, lots of app. And Adri's numero uno.
My number one game is Sagrada.
I see a pattern.
Can you see the pattern?
Can you see the pattern? Pretty colors and patterns.
Oh, this game, I loved it. Is
even playing it wrong. And this is saying something, because
I'm very tired, and you made me have a harder time.
Really tired. We did it during Extra Life Game Day. We played it wrong originally and had to restart. And Adri was playing it wrong, and then she had to correct it, which made it harder for herself.
Oh, yes. But also was trying to get an objective. And then remember that somebody in the chat
objective. Yeah.
Saved me.
Saved you. Yeah. Because she was going after objective, and then I ended up getting the objective.
Yes, so I got it back. But
anyway, Sagrada is what type of game?
It's a game in which you have to roll dice and you have to complete objectives that are general and objectives that are personal. Mm-hmm. You need to. It's challenging. Is not that easy, because you have to keep many things in mind. So you have your tableau, your board, and you place your pieces, dice there, but then you have to keep in mind that they might not be touching one of the colors, or the
colors can't touch and the numbers can't touch.
Colors cannot touch. The numbers cannot touch either, so you have to always place next to another one.
Place to another one that you'd already placed. It's very puzzling.
It's very puzzling.
Adri likes her puzzling
something that I like. And then same. You have to work for the general objectives before the other one gets them. It looks really pretty.
Very, very nice. It's one of those games where you'll have to tell your kids not to eat the pieces.
Yeah.
They have a great mouthfeel.
Or gummy. They look like gummies.
They look gummies. And the other thing is, like, you're also doing dice drafting. So when you roll the dice, it's a common pool. Everybody's using the same dice. So there's kind of strategy there as well. And you have powers and abilities that can maybe help you get the dice you want. So you have a little bit of mitigation on those dice.
I like it because it is not very easy, but it is very enjoyable.
Very enjoyable, pretty.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. I liked Sagrada too. It was a fun little puzzle game, but didn't make my top 10. Maybe it'll make my top 25. How can they find out if any of these games made our top 25?
You need to subscribe and activate notifications so you know when we're going to
post the video.
Post that video.
Because we're not doing them live. We do gameplays live. And you can do the same thing if you want to watch our live gameplay. Subscribe. Hit the bell notification to know when we go live.
Right.
The other thing they can do is follow us where?
Follow us on social media.
Follow us on social media. But until next time, guys.
Adios.
Peace.